Hi everyone, in this video we are going to learn about even and odd numbers and then explore their important properties. Before we begin, there is one thing to keep in mind about the examples in this video. To make each property clear and consistent, I'll use a larger number as the first number and smaller number as the second number in my calculations. So for example, in subtraction, I'll always subtract the smaller number from the larger number. Now let's quickly revise what even and odd numbers are, and then we will see how different operations affect them. Let's get started. So what is an even number? An even number is a number that is divisible by 2 with no remainder. For example, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. Now, what is an odd number? An odd number is a number that is not divisible by 2 exactly. For example, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on. Now, what about the 0? So let me tell you that 0 is an even number because that is the multiple of 2. Now we have some numbers here and we need to find out which one of these is an even number and which one of these are an odd numbers. So let's see. The first number we have here is 24 and the last digit is 4. So the 4 is an even number. So 24 would be an even number. Now we have 53 and the last digit of 53 is 3, which is an odd number. So 53 would be an odd number here. Now we have 101 and the last digit is 1, which is an odd number. So 101 would be an odd number. Then we have 344. So the last digit is 4, which is an even number. So 344 would be an even number here. Now we have 5673. So the last digit is 3, which is an odd number. So 5673 would be an odd number here. Now let's see the properties of even and odd number. First property is addition. What happens when we add even number into even number? Let's see. For example, 4 plus 2 would be an even number, that is 6. Now 18 plus 3 would be 21. You can see that we cannot add even into odd number because that property would not be fit into this. Now we have 14 plus 2, both are the even numbers. So you can see that we need to add even number into even. We cannot add even into odd. The result of an adding even number into even number would be an even number. Let's see the next one. What happens when we add odd into odd? So 1 plus 3 would be 4. 3 plus 5 would be 8. 17 plus 3 would be 20. So you can see that when we add odd number into an odd number, we get an even number. So the result of adding odd into odd is an even number. Now let's see what happens when we add even into odd. So 8 plus 3 would be 11. 4 plus 1 would be 5. You can see that when we add even into odd, we get an odd number. So the result of adding even number into an odd number is an odd number. Now let's see what happens when we multiply even number with even. So 4 times 2 is an even number, which is 8. 4 times 4 would be 16, which is an again even number. Now 18 times 2 would be 36, which is an even number again. So when we multiply even with even, we get an even result. So the result would be even here. Let's see what happens when we multiply odd number with an odd number. So 3 times 5 would be 15. 1 times 7 would be 7. 7 times 3 would be 21. So you can see that when we multiply odd number with an odd number, we get an odd number. So the result of multiplication an odd number with odd is odd. Now what happens when we multiply even number with an odd number? So 4 times 3 is 12 here. 8 times 5 would be 40 here. You can see that when we multiply even with an odd, we get an even number. So the result is even here. Now let's see what happens when we minus even from even. So 40 minus 20 is equals to 20 here. 18 minus 14 is equals to 4 here. So you can see that even minus even is also an even number. So the result is an even here. Now let's see what happens when we minus odd number from the odd number. So 5 minus 3 would be 2. 7 minus 1 would be 6. 15 minus 13 would be 2. So when we minus odd number from an odd number, the result is an even. You can see that clearly here. Now let's see what happens when we minus odd number from an even number. So 14 minus 13 is equals to 1. 17 minus 13 is equals to 4. Oh, that's my mistake. It should be even here. So it's 18 minus 13. So it's 5 here. 20 minus 3 would be 17 here. So you can see that when we subtract odd number from an even number, we get an odd number here. So the result of subtracting odd number from even number is an odd number. Now let's see what happens when we minus even from an odd. So 17 minus 2 is equals to 15. 19 minus 2 is equals to 17. 15 minus 4 is equals to 11. So you can see that when we subtract even number from an odd number, we get an odd number here. So the result of subtracting even number from an odd number is an odd number. And that's how the properties of even and odd number works. Remember, when adding or multiplying even and odd number, we can use these patterns to predict whether the answer will be even or odd. I hope this video made even and odd numbers easier to understand. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment. Bye-bye.